Hey everybody, welcome back to the GoNoGo Safety Show. I'm your host, David Levesque, and today is July 28th, 2020. On the Safety Show, we talk about how it is and what we can do to feel safe here in the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, and try to put you at ease and peace of mind and give you comfort that things are going to be okay and that they're also okay right now. And so GoNoGo is an app where you can talk to your phone and it'll let you know that you are safe from COVID, that COVID does not exist in your body. So it's pretty amazing that technology that we're developing. Happy to tell you about it more. The goal of the Safety Show is to just talk about topics related to that, not about the app itself. So today, if you've been following our shows, you know that we're working our way up through the human body in terms of the chakras. So you started with the root chakra and then the creative chakra, and now we're up to the gut or the personal power chakra. Let me just go ahead and show you that visually so you can see what I'm speaking about clearly. 1 second here. So your body has these energy centers or chakras, and here you can see what I just mentioned, the root chakra, then the creative, and then here the solar plexus. That's the area of your body which really has to do with energy, vitality, personal power, like I mentioned. So that's today's show. Tomorrow we'll talk about the heart chakra, love, compassion, empathy, all those vibrations. Each of these chakras actually correspond with a note or a frequency of music. That's weird. I don't have a good picture of that here in my slide deck. I'm sorry. Why don't I go get one right now? This is meant to be a very kind of organic, easygoing show. So I'll go get one right now. So you can do this search yourself. If you search for notes of the chakras, you'll see that there are many images that come up that talk about the frequencies. Here's a good one right here. It shows C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And if you get more detailed, you can go into like the exact frequencies of each of the notes in terms of the number of hertz, which we've talked about before on the show. Here's another way to look at it. I don't like that one as much. Let me just go down to, here's what it looks like on the piano, which is pretty cool. If you know how to play the piano, you can see where the notes fall there and how they're repeating over and over again. Let's just take, for example, the bass note. Sometimes what we would call in music, we would sometimes say, you might know it as do from the musical, the Sound of Music, where we go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? So I'm just calling that do and saying that it repeats every 8 notes, right? So there's 7 chakras, so the 8th one is a repeat of the first one, except it's not an exact repeat, it's kind of the next level up. Actually, this is the diagram I was looking for. I was surprised I didn't have this in my document. I'm going to go ahead and paste that into my document right now so you can see it here more clearly. One moment, hang with me 1 second. Here we go. So here you can see each of the chakras and where they relate in your body, the color that corresponds, and also the note in music like we just went over, and also the frequency, meaning the rate at which that portion of your body vibrates. And that might be a new concept for some people. So the way to think about it, or one way to relate to it, is you probably heard of 120 volts and 60 hertz. 60 hertz is the frequency at which the alternating current, the electricity in your wall is. So when you plug something in, it has, typically in America anyway, the electronics that you're plugging in is compatible with 120 volts and 60 hertz. So 60 hertz is how fast the signal is cycling, going between positive and negative, positive and negative. And that is also called a frequency. So hertz is a measure of frequency, which is a measure of cycles per second. So you can see here on the screen that your root chakra is slower frequency than your crown chakra. So root chakra is at 432 and your crown chakra at 768. So this is why I think we dance differently depending on the music that we hear, because the music obviously has different frequencies And those frequencies resonate with different parts of our body, right? And it's also why some music, makes you feel good or feel sad or happy, because sad and happy are kind of in different places in your body as they relate to frequency. And so what does all this have to do with COVID-19 and being safe? Well, specifically on today's show, we're talking about the solar plexus, which is about personal power. And I've been yawning on the shows. I don't know why. There's some reason I think there's like something about this topic that it's like creating a, what we call an integration or a connection in my brain causing me to yawn. Anyway, let's ramp it up a little bit. No more yawning, David. Okay, so personal power. So what does that mean? So we took some notes on our first show about feeling more empowered because of COVID, because you didn't have to drive anywhere and you could create more value in the world. You could be not with your family, but with them in a different way through things like Zoom and things like that. And that is actually empowering people, or people are experiencing more connection than they did before, because now they're purposely reaching out to their family and friends on Zoom on a regular basis, which they didn't do before. And so that's in a way having you realize more of your own connection to yourself and to your loved ones. And then the second point that we raised in our previous call was around being more aware. Oh man, I don't know why I yawn when I'm doing this. Being more aware of yourself and each other. When you go to the grocery store today, obviously you recognize the distance between you and the other people. So that recognition is a self-awareness of your own body in space and the other person's body in space. And you might say, well, that's a common thing. I don't think it is. I've been teaching dancing for 20 years, and I know for a fact that a lot of people are not aware of where their own body is in space. How long are their arms? Are their arms closer than 6 feet to another person? Or is their voice loud enough? I think those kind of things have really come into more of our consciousness through this COVID experience. So weird. Anyway, so I think we're through this. We're more caring about ourselves and caring about each other, which I think is a big benefit to this obviously very challenging experience that we're all having. So I'd like to go back to talking more about, well, if you have any comments about personal power or personal experiences where COVID has made you feel more powerful or brought out better experiences in your own life, please share them on the YouTube channel below. I cannot believe I'm yawning like this. Craziness. So for myself, as I mentioned yesterday, I've been working on health innovation with software for 7 years now, and I'm really excited for GoNoGo to work in the world, because I think it adds a lot of value, and it leverages a lot of the things that I think I'm good at. And so it's a great way for me to express my personal power in the world. Okay, so I guess we'll just leave it at that for now on the personal power topic. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit more about this frequencies in your body and that kind of thing that we started talking about. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. So this is a book. Oh, you can't see the book because of the green screen. Hang on 1 second here. Let me see if we can do something else with that. Let's see if I can show you San Francisco. No, that doesn't work either. Okay. So this is my apartment. You get to see my apartment now. So this book is called The Complete Guide to Sound Healing. And on the back is the author, David Gibson, who's a friend of mine, David Gibson. And this is the #1 book in the world on sound healing and sound in your body. And it's pretty cool. And it's pretty thick, as you can see. There's a lot to talk about. So I just wanted to kind of introduce this to you in case you're interested in this topic and interested in learning more about sound in your body and health, and also to read some of the passages so you get a sense of what's going on here, and also to just give you a sense of, I think a lot of people think of sound healing being things like these, bowls and singing bowls and chimes and tuning forks and all that. And definitely those are a part of it. And they've been a part of the human experience for thousands of years. So they're totally valuable and relevant. And what we're doing now with software here in the 21st century is being able to both measure and scale those kinds of understandings about the relationship between frequency and our body. So that's so cool, because that's essentially what we're doing with GoNoGo. So so let me just share a few tidbits here from the book Words of Wisdom. This is got a whole cool picture here. So this is probably one of the most important things you can understand about sound. So we've probably all seen in this wavelength, and I've talked about it a few times, positive and negative and cycles per second. And when you go from one tip to the next tip, that's the wavelength. And so when I say 60 hertz, that's 60 cycles per second, and the wavelength is essentially 60 divided into 1. So that's the length of time that it takes for one cycle or one wave. And the other thing that's really cool about this picture is it shows you kind of what is a sound wave. And what it is it's a bunch of air molecules compressed into a space and then decompressed and then compressed again. So that's how sound travels from my throat to the computer and to you. Is it compresses the air, decompresses, compresses the air, decompresses, decompresses the air. So what's cool about that is that it is really sound is a manifestation of matter moving. So the physical molecules in the air, which doesn't even seem like a thing, right? You can't touch them, right? Are they there? Well, they are. There's lots of molecules in the air, right? Oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, all those things. And we really only ever experience it when we smell something, or when there's moisture in the air, right? But fundamentally, all those things are in the air, even if we can't smell or feel them. Because that's what's required for sound to travel, is to have atoms, molecules, nitrogen, oxygen, those things in the air. So getting back to my point, the point is that sound moves matter. That's what sound is. It's matter moving. It's matter compressing and decompressing in a very fast way. And why is that interesting? Well, it's because your body is matter in a very dense form. Obviously, it's not as dense as a rock, and it's not as undense as water. And it's somewhere in between there. And in fact, there is a lot of water in your body, actually. So it is a lot of waves, right? You think about the ocean and how sound, it moves like a wave, and how water moves like a wave. Do you see the connection I'm making? So the point is that on a very kind of simple level, I think it's pretty clear and easy to understand that sound can impact your body. Sound can impact your body. And also that the sound that comes out of your body is a recognition of what's happening in your body. So a good example of this is when a 14-year-old boy, the sound of their voice is one way when they're 12, and then it's kind of different when they're 14. So the difference typically is the hormones in their body, or the chemistry, specifically the hormones, causing the pitch or the sound of the voice to change. You also know this experience from, you probably sucked in helium from a balloon, and had the pitch or the sound of your voice also change. So the chemistry of the air in your body affects the sound of your voice. So when we can measure the sound of your voice and reverse engineer that back to the chemistry of your body, if that makes sense. So that's a pretty cool thing. So I just want to share with you a little bit more from the book. And I'm trying to explain it in a way that makes sense and isn't too scientific. So please let me know if you have any questions about sound and matter in your body. Let's see if we can find something else interesting here. So this actually, you know what? Let me tell a little story that I think is pretty funny, or not funny, but interesting. Do you see here, the other way we can relate to this concept of frequencies and sound is through color. So you see several rainbows here on the homepage. So a rainbow, or color, let's say, color is, and we talked about this before, color is the ability of matter to absorb certain frequencies and reflect others. So when we see something as black, it's because it's absorbing certain rays of frequencies, and what we see back is the black, back to black. And so what's interesting about a rainbow is it's clearly showing all the different frequencies that exist within the water molecule, right? So we're shining one light, the same light, the sunshine, onto the water molecules, and something's causing that kind of like same water molecule to turn into this range of frequencies, the range of colors that we see. So that's like a pretty cool thing. Like, what is going on there? How is that happening? And honestly, to answer the question, I don't know, but I just think it's cool. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because you can see just in a very simple thing like a rainbow that there is a range of frequencies in the water. And that goes back to what we were saying before about the range of frequencies in your body, in all the chakras of your body. And the goal of tuning those chakras, or creating the environment where those chakras can be in tune with their natural, or what's called resonant frequency, so that you can fundamentally be healthy and function properly. And so I'll just finish with this. My theory on how life came to be on Earth, and it's a little bit validated in the science of Luc Montagnier, who I shared with you yesterday, who's a Nobel Prize winner, who's been doing this work on transfer of information in water. My theory is that because we have the atmosphere and the ability to capture water in the atmosphere, and the ability for sun to come through the water and create the range of frequencies that we call life, that's why we have life here. You know, that's my theory anyway, because the other planets, as far as we know, don't have water captured the way that we have it. Now, different people will say they have an atmosphere or a version of an atmosphere, and they do have different versions of water. Sometimes it's frozen, sometimes it's not. And I would say that that's all true. And it's also true that it's not like concentrated in mass amounts to enable over the long period of time, obviously billions of years, for the light to come through and to reflect and direct and create different frequencies. And also, and what I mean by that is to create different types of matter, right? And to create different species and different life. And so that's pretty cool. I just want to share that with you and to get your feedback and thoughts on it. The timer has gone off. It's time to end the show for today. So thank you for watching and tuning in. Please share the GoNoGo Safety Show with your friends. Please comment below. Have a great day. I'm Dave Levesque. Bye-bye.